Listen, we have a great show lined up for you. I'm your host, Kim Jacobs, better known as the Balance Doctor. And all of our guests that come on, they're either people that have overcome some tremendous odds in their own lives as they balance this thing called life, or they're experts and they're here to share tips and strategies that will help you better balance and manage your life. Grab your virtual seats and let's get ready for some real relevant and relatable content on today's episode of The Kim Jacobs Show. Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of The Kim Jacobs Show, where we are bringing balance to the world, one household at a time. And today we are doing that with none other than Gregory Rutledge. How are you today, Gregory?
Man, I am blessed and highly favored and grateful to be here. I'm just going to start with the gratitude because that's where success starts.
Oh, see, you know what? You're already dropping those gems, right? Those words of wisdom and nuggets. Make sure you all grab your virtual seats quickly and let everyone you know that the Kim Jacobs Show is on the air. And there are all kinds of people that'll be tuning in today. So we don't want you to deprive your friends of the opportunity to participate in today's broadcast. So once you get in, make sure you let us know that you're here. Let us know by just typing your name, letting us know by just tagging your friends, and we'll put your comments up as well, because that's what it's all about, is knowing that the only way this show is able to thrive is by community contributions, community participation. So we really are grateful to have you be a part as our VIP participants here on the Kim Jacobs Show. All right, y'all ready? All right, everybody. Gregory Rutledge is the author. He is the author From Waiter to Greater. He is a child of God first. Let's put that preference there, right? Former waiter turned UX design lead, turned transformational speaker, author, strategist, with a gift of turning everyday experiences into deeply impactful lessons. Gregory has spent the last decade helping high-performing leaders, creators, and entrepreneurs. See, that's how I met him. Okay, I'll talk about that. But going from stuck to unstoppable, he created the Greater Framework, his Greater University, or his one-on-one clarity sessions to help people hear from God more clearly, with more boldness, and with a design that is a life alignment with both purpose and profit. That is my guest today, Gregory Rutledge. Glad to have you, Gregory.
Man, I'm glad to be here. These introductions, it almost feels like an out-of-body experience. Like, is she talking about me?
Talking about the Gregory. That's what you need to put before your name. The Gregory Rutledge. That's what you need to put there. But I had the opportunity to meet you at a power networking event. And time I saw you, I was like, there is something special about this person that I believe we would be connected for a long time. I'm really, really grateful that we had that opportunity. What even brought you to that networking event? It was with George Fraser.
I was in Myron Golden's inner circle, the King Solomon's Court, and I met a gentleman named Jabril that told me about this conference. And I, on faith, bought the ticket, got the VIP, sponsored a bunch of people to come to. We had at least 12 people show up. And when I met George and told him about Myron, he's like, "Oh, Myron had his start here." And it was a contrast of experience because I had just come from Offer Mastery Live like a month or two ago.
Okay.
And the contrast between how those events were run, it was like you get to see where your mentor got his start.
Yes.
And what he turned into as a result. And just some of the people I met there were so powerful, and the opportunities we had, but meeting people like yourself where you just feel your spirit, you feel your energy, and something's going to happen from that. So that was the first time I actually got my wife out of Texas. And she was so happy to get to travel and see something other than the great state of Texas. But it was an experience that just, it compounds.
Okay. Wow. And so those experiences, when you have them happen, it literally is like an out of body experience, because you don't know what you don't know until you get there and realize what you don't know,
Right.
and then it's like, what? They were sharing so many tips and strategies,
Hmm.
and even sharing ideas of futuristic things, like asking in the audience, is there anybody that's able to create this? Because
Mm,
if so, here's going to be the outcome, the forecasted
mm,
outcome for you and your destiny. So I,
yeah.
I thought that was just such a supernatural experience, in my opinion.
And the succession of leaving the legacy, like that was the heart of that conference there. And
Right.
it was kind of what sparked me to finally write the book, because I've been floundering on this book for years.
Mm.
I'm talking 15 years.
Okay.
And the journey of writing a book is really interesting,
Mm.
because you actually become what you're writing as you're writing it. And
Mm.
so the journey continues, and at some point you have to put a stop on it. Like
Right.
I can write the whole autobiography, but people don't know, like, trust, or care about me enough for me to just talk about me. So I got to give some value. Like, what from my story can I take
Mm.
that can actually inspire and help other people to level up or
Wow.
be better, right? And that was that differentiator when I got into Myron's program, and he told me people don't know or care about who you are. They need to know what they'll get.
Mm.
And it didn't even start as From Waiter to Greater. The name was, I have no idea what I'm doing, and that's why it's working.
Oh, interesting. So that was the original name, is I
That was
have
the
no
original name.
idea what I'm doing, and that's why it's working.
Yes.
That'll preach all day long. You know that, right? That right there is a mouthful, because that's pretty much the summary of what happens in a lot of our lives.
Hmm.
We have no idea what we're doing, but it's working
Right.
some kind
And
of way.
it's God, right?
That's
If
right.
if if I can be so bold as to say, nothing that you see in me that is great is actually me,
Mm.
because I'm still human. I still fall short and miss the mark. I still
Mm.
have bad days, or what my wife likes to call potato days, where, just don't feel like doing anything.
Mm.
But it's that journey. We become addicted to a destination. Like, once I get here, I'll be okay. Once I get to this mark, I'll be okay. I can tell you that every mark I've hit has felt like Tuesday at 2 o'clock.
What does that mean? Tuesday at 2 o'clock.
It's just a regular day, right? And the I say this all the time, and it just turns heads. I've been in crack houses with crackheads, in boardrooms with
Mm.
billionaires, and I
Right.
see the same thing everywhere.
Yes.
They're looking left, they're looking right.
Mm.
How should I behave? How should I act? How should I react? Who should I be?
That's right.
And they're looking down at the people below them to make sure that they're okay. But we
Mm.
we fail to look up, right?
Mm.
That's where the guidance is.
That's right. Right.
And everyone is chasing this destination. Like,
Mm.
once I get here, I'll be okay. From waiter to greater, I'm not greater yet. I'm in the process of becoming greater. I just want to
Yes.
take people with me now.
Woo. Okay. You know what? This is going to be clearly a roller coaster ride conversation today, and I share wholeheartedly in the theory that I personally will never arrive, no matter what phase of life I am a part of.
Hmm.
I'm always ever learning, ever evolving, and making sure that I do what God has equipped me to do. And Les Brown said one time that how is simply not our business. So no
Mm,
matter what we do, all we need to do is do what we're supposed to do,
mm.
but recognize that the how is God's business.
Amen.
It's not our business.
Not at all.
Hmm.
We are in the business of action, and God's in the business of results, right?
Yes.
All we can do is the next right thing with what's in front of us right now. And then when we don't know what the next right thing is, just do the next thing right. But for the love of God, just do something.
Just do something. How many people agree with what we're talking about here? Just put it in the comment section if you believe that we should just do something.
Mm.
Everybody should be typing and participating, because it is so important for us to know that if we don't know what to do, And we talked backstage, Gregory, about
Mhm.
everything. Well, you tell everybody what we talked about with the polish and waiting for everything to be right
Oh
and
my
all of that.
goodness.
What's your theory on that?
Listen, you can get stuck in preparation and iteration and planning and strategizing and optimizing all of your ideas. And let me say this, because this was not in the book, but AI is compounding this problem, because you have a therapist, you have a strategist, you have a coach, you have all these things at your fingertips, and it sounds good, it feels good, it makes you feel better than
Yeah.
anything's ever made you feel.
Right.
And I don't think we're seeing the danger.
Mm.
What is the thing that we've always wanted as humans more than anything? A
We want
tangible
love.
God.
Oh, go ahead.
We want love?
I know I
Go
want
ahead.
love. I want love. I want God's guidance and make sure I have his direction and his endorsement and approval of the things that he would have me to be doing on this earth so that I'm not disappointing him, but representing him to the best possible light.
And how many times do you actually hear the voice of God audibly? Right? He talks through other people. He talks
Right.
through signs, just what I like to call God kisses. Those coincidental, serendipitous moments that are too
Yeah.
good to not be God. But
Mhm.
when we run to a GPT or a large language model and we just dump all our thoughts and ideas and we unload on it, and it just gives us an instant response, and it's always there to make us feel good. It's never going to argue with us, it's never going to tell us we're wrong, it's never going to stop us. It's just going to keep, and next I can build this for you, and if you like we can do this, and that's a great idea, you're on fire, man, you're great. And you get addicted to that,
Mhm.
right? And we've seen it starting to cause mental health problems. There are
Mhm.
people that have actually unalived themselves as a cause of GPT. And this is
Right.
so sad.
Mm.
But you have to keep that human
That's good.
touch, that agency.
Mhm.
You have to keep
That's good.
who you are, and don't lose it or surrender it to the algorithms, to the, what am I trying to say here? If you continue to turn over your thinking, your
Mhm.
creativity, your agency to robots,
Right.
you are going to lose it. And I had this realization. I was almost done with the book, and I was on the beach with my wife in Tampa, in Clearwater, and I had an idea about
Okay.
thinking. It's a 6-dimensional thinking model. And I wanted to flesh this idea out
Yeah.
in my head and play in that playground that I used to
Right.
have. And I realized it didn't work. The first thing I went to was, oh, let me just drop this idea in GPT and have it flesh it out with me. I didn't have my watch. I didn't have my phone. I didn't have my laptop. And even if I did, there's no Wi-Fi on the beach.
Right. Right.
Right? So I tried to think and my brain hurt. And then it hit me. When I don't work out, my muscles atrophy.
That's right. Mm.
The brain is a muscle. And if you don't use it intentionally, purposefully,
Yes.
you will lose it.
That's good. Well, this I was actually looking here. I was looking here. I have a copy of this book, From Waiter to Greater, by the way. But I was looking here on page 9, and I'm just going to say, you said also full transparency. The book was written by someone who has ADHD and dyslexia, according to societal diagnosis, right? But the thing that I loved about this is that you talked about how you used AI to your advantage. And I love the full transparency that you shared in here. And you
Thank
talked about this is still my experiences, my voice, my process, my lessons, my fight. That is profound. Just kicking off as you're reading the book From Waiter to Greater. I'm a big person that goes and reads and highlights and all kinds of stuff. So I have my bookmark from, you know, yes, I have my stuff.
Let's go. And did I sign that?
Yes, you said, boy, bye. I got me an autographed copy. Yes. To Kim Jacobs, you deserve the best. And you said, thank you. From waiter, you said from waiter to you are greater, is what you wrote in mine. And then you signed it. So thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir. So we're going to definitely be talking
Wow.
more about from waiter to greater. And I want to talk just because that title, even though you
Mm.
changed it to become from waiter to greater,
Mhm.
what was that defining moment that you realized that you personally were called to greater?
Mm. Man, which time? Because it's an
Right.
ongoing. See, people think greater is this destination. I'm
Uh-huh.
going to arrive and I'm going to be greater and everything is going to be just fine.
Mm.
There are different seasons in our life where we're called to a greater purpose. And I thank God for his grace that he allows us to grow at a rate that we'll survive the transformation.
Mm-hmm.
Because if we got it all as an instant download, I don't think we could handle it.
That's right. That's right.
So my first
That's
call to greater was when someone asked me,
good.
"Who are you?" And I was like, "I'm Gregory." "No, that's your name. Who are you?"
Mm.
"I'm a waiter." "No, that's what you do. Who are you?" And it just kept going. And I'm a rapper. I'm this. I'm that. I'm Sandra's son. I don't know what are you talking? And they just let me go on for minutes, almost an hour, like 45 minutes on this.
Okay.
And finally they said, "No, you're a child of God." I was like, "That's stupid." I didn't understand what that meant. When you are a child of God, you have nothing to prove, nothing to lose, nothing to hide, and nothing to gain.
Mm.
You are joint heirs with the Maker.
Mm.
You have a home. You have an inheritance. There's no fight for anything else. You already are greater. You already have
Period.
everything you are going to need.
That's right.
And I didn't understand that because I was in this stage in my life of performing,
Mm-hmm.
always performing, always asking people for their validation and what they thought. And this was in the beginning of my recovery journey. So working the 12 steps of recovery and finding out why I was running, what I was running from,
Mm.
and that I needed, most importantly, Kim, to forgive myself.
To forgive yourself. And how do you recommend at some point? I want you to finish what you're saying, but I do also want you to address how do you recommend that people forgive themselves too, because that's a process in itself. But carry on with what you're saying first.
Mm. There. So man, that is so powerful. That was the first, was who are you? Then it was
Who are you? Somebody type that. Who are you? If that was the first step for Gregory, well, because he's got lots of thoughts that he's going to be sharing, but I want to type, who are you? That's the
who are you?
first step. First step.
And that goes to the G in the greater framework, grounded in your unique story,
Mhm.
not what person to the left is doing, what guru on social media is doing. Like, who are you? Because that matters more than you know. There are people that have your name written backwards on their head and you're the only one that can get through to them. There's people that you can reach, Kim, that I can't, and
That's
vice
right.
versa, right? And when we don't show up in the world to serve those people, we're doing them and ourselves a disservice, right?
Mm,
And we feel that. They feel that. Some people don't make it as a result. It's harsh truth.
that's
So
right.
that was the big turning point, was who are you? There's so many other moments, it always stems from a question, right?
Yes.
It's a question. See, if someone gives me an answer and it doesn't work out for me,
Right.
then I can say, when that thing didn't work out, "See, that thing you gave me didn't work out. You
Mm.
were wrong." But if someone asks me a question, right?
Right, right. Point the finger and say that didn't work, what you
Uh
told me. But if they
huh.
ask you a question, then what happens?
That question stays with me,
That's
and
right.
now I'm reflecting on that question, not even in my conscious mind anymore. It's
That's
moved
right.
to my subconscious, and I'm asking that question
Mm,
repeatedly.
mm.
I'm mulling over it. I'm ruminating. I'm meditating on this
Yes.
question. And when I finally get the answer, it's mine, right?
Because it took you a lot of work to really get to the answer. Then you know
Hmm.
how to effectively apply it to your own life versus just somebody telling you what to do. They're teaching you how to
Exactly.
fish, technically.
Exactly.
Mm.
And so my question that I have for people is, who are you And how can you be the best version of that? Because when you show up fully in that, everything else becomes easy. You don't have to perform, you don't have to prepare. They say that a prepared messenger is better than a prepared message. You already have everything you need inside of you. So the pivotal moment had to be, who are you? But then next was, and I don't, I want to say it was 2011. I was riding in a car in North Carolina, of all places, on a random trip, and this guy asked me what I did. I was riding with a stranger to a meeting, believe it or
Right.
not,
Okay.
and he asked me, so what do you do? And I told him I'm a musician. And he's like, oh, really? Like, do you perform? He's asking me all this stuff about it. I'm like, well, I'm kind of waiting for the fear to go away so I can show up.
Right.
And he looks at me with this look, and he's like, what? You do realize that courage is not the absence of fear. It's showing up in spite of fear.
In spite of, yes, come through. Great advice.
And I was like, I mean, I guess so. The biggest awakening, and this happened before that. They're coming up now. They're coming up. My brain's working. So,
oh no, I have your whole, whether your brain works or not, I have
right,
it right
it's
here on
in
certain
there.
pages. So anything that delays your brain, just tell me, and I'll go right to that page. I have a whole greater framework outlined.
Do one thing every day that scares you.
Okay.
And so the reason that one hit so hard in that car is because I had been doing one thing every day that scared me, to the point where that evolved into, if anything scares you, face it head on so that nothing stands in your way. And I had reverted back to fear, which lets me know that if I'm not moving forward, there is no coasting. I'm either going forward up that hill, or I'm rolling backwards. You cannot stay still.
We can't stay still. So no matter, even if we think we're just standing still, we're just waiting. And no, at some point, by making no decision, you're still making a decision to just stay stagnant. It does not, no matter how you slice it. Hey, that's a Kim Jacobs quote. Yes, I think I will use that in the future.
Yes, ma'am.
That's the whole point. We're not really I'd use Les Brown often because he's one of my mentors. And speaking of which, I should probably take a moment and let you all know that Dr. Les Brown just recently celebrated his 81st birthday.
Wow.
And so if you go and follow him, he did life lessons and things that he was sharing with us that tuned into his live broadcast yesterday on his YouTube channel. And it was some powerful things that he was sharing. But one of the things he's talked about is you're either climbing a mountain or you're sliding down off of another one. So but you always want to find yourself climbing, not just always at the bottom of something. You're at the bottom of another mountain, or you're coming up on the next mountain. I may be botching it up, but the point is, it was very helpful information. And what else? Something else that he said that I think was very helpful to me. And let me see. While I'm looking that up, he said garbage in. Sometimes people have the theory that garbage in, garbage out. No, he said garbage in, garbage stays. So stop letting garbage get inside of you. Don't just be a sponge. Isn't that deep?
Wow.
Yeah, that's a lot. And he said we have to create our own reality. Don't just focus on what's going on now, because there are mass distractions that are out here that try to get you to retire and do certain things at a certain age. He said, I'm 81, I still have a pulse. And he was talking about the fact that no matter how you slice it, as long as he's breathing, he's not going to just retire. It was so powerful. Let's keep going.
That is powerful. And it's so true. Look, the retirement, this whole system that was built, and I'm gonna diverge for just a second here.
Yes.
Go to school, get a good job, go work for a company for 40 years, get a gold watch and a pen, and retire and live your life. That world doesn't exist.
It does not.
It has been gone for like the last 30, 40 years.
Yeah.
It was created for a purpose in a time and season that we are no longer in. Things move so fast now that by the time you finish school, everything you learned is outdated.
Wow.
And obsolete.
Interesting.
So you have to move really fast now. It is easier than ever to gain knowledge, wisdom, and wealth, but
Yes.
it's also harder than ever
It
because
is.
things are moving so fast.
Interesting.
And so if you can't learn as you go and just use that adrenaline
Right.
to do it scared and unprepared,
Yes.
you're going to be left behind.
I agree with, you know what? If I had to drop the mic, I would say drop the mic, but I don't have the drop the mic sound effect over here.
I was
But I
gonna,
can just
I
tell
don't have
you
my
that,
sound effects. I would have done it too.
but I'm telling you, that's the heart.
Wow.
That's the heartbeat of the matter. Doing it
Mm,
scared. And sometimes when we're doing it scared, our heart's racing. We're nervous. We're
hmm
scared. We're not sure of what the end's going to be. But we only know in part, Gregory. So that's why it's important for us to trust God in the process and know that
Yeah.
it's going to be a favorable outcome. Now, in your book, for those of you that's just tuning in, because I know some of you may be like, who are we talking to? What are we talking about? Blah, 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 blah. Listen, we're talking today with the author of From Waiter to Greater. And he has written a best-selling book that everyone should get a copy of. And I want to make sure that I like this picture. You know, I can put the professional picture up, but this is the one that really speaks to my heart because you're just so authentically excited here, from waiter to greater. And one of the things in your book, you say every plate, every interaction, every mishap taught you something about people and yourself. Can you share a moment when you were waiting as a waiter and how that shifted how you see yourself now as a leader and even your purpose?
Man, I used to be so afraid of being on stage, like as a musician. And I had a group of friends. We called ourselves closet musicians because we'd make, you know, number one hits, but no one would ever hear them, right? And there was a moment I was working at Macaroni Grill, and I just had this moment of mindfulness
Mhm.
where I realized I'm walking up to complete strangers. I'm turning them into friends in a matter of minutes so that they can pay me at the end of this transaction.
Mm.
And the entire restaurant's full. We're on a wait. We've got people all up and down the ramp. And I look around and I realize, yeah, they're all here, but they're not even looking at me,
Interesting.
right? But they can see me every move. And so I'm on stage no matter what. I can't just come out here and, I mean, I can. I see waiters do this, talk
Right.
about their life, complain, cuss, all these things.
Right, right, right.
But if I'm on stage, I never know which customer in that restaurant is going to see me and want to come back to see me again instead of the
Right.
waiter they had. So I'm
Interesting.
always performing. I'm always on stage. And it changed the way I carried myself.
Good.
And there's so many lessons that I probably even left out of the book because I did an experiment this last year.
Okay.
Could I go back to waiting tables and could I do everything backwards from the framework and still
Okay.
sustain the success I had?
Interesting.
It doesn't work. So,
Why? Why do you feel that's the case?
oh my goodness. So I can wait tables,
Uh-huh.
but when you have a purpose and you are operating in a at a place that you're no longer at, it feels like putting on a shoe that doesn't fit you. Like I'm a size 10. If I put on a size 8, that's going to be my angry shoe. As soon as I put that shoe on, I'm going to be angry, right?
Right.
I I had a general,
Hmm.
I don't even know the word. There was so much passion for the people, the servers, the
Right.
customers, the managers, and how they showed up and how they served and how they took this seriously because I saw what it could get me to.
Okay.
And I just couldn't communicate that to them because they're just there to make their dollar so they can spend it.
Hmm.
And I understand how money works now. I understand like how it works in a corporate setting,
Hmm.
designing experiences for companies. And so the Remind me the question real quick because I feel
Oh,
like I
forget the question, boy.
okay, we're
I'm
going
all
on
the
this
way in a
journey.
whole different. I'm in a whole different realm with what you've taken me on, which is a journey to letting people understand that no matter what is going on at whatever level you're experiencing, it's happening for a greater cause. What I'm taking away from what you're
That's
saying.
it. That's
And
exactly it.
so, not looking at it just from dollars and cents,
Right.
but every day you're performing because you're providing these individuals with the best experience they could ever have in their lifetime. And
That's
that's
it.
how you were viewing it, in my opinion.
Yeah, and then not just that, it's not a transactional thing. I'm not
Right.
just taking care of these people so I can get the end goal of the tip. I'm trying to create an experience
That's
while they're in my section because I am brokering with this company right now.
yeah.
And this section of tables that I have to
Mm.
take care of, this is my business. These are the people that I need to serve so that next time they think about eating this food or they think about eating out, they say, can we get Gregory? We want to sit with Gregory, right?
Right.
That becomes predictable income. And people didn't understand that.
Mm.
There were people that were getting mad because people were asking for stuff. And I'm like, and then they get mad when the people didn't tip. And I'm like, you
You
do
didn't
realize
tips is to ensure proper service.
that's
In my
it.
opinion.
That's it. It was insurance. It used to be they'd set a stack of cash on the table so you can see it. And every time you did something stupid or messed up, they just took some cash off. And whatever was left at the end of that day or that transaction was yours. I heard that. I don't know if that's true. I heard it as a story, but the
It's
visual,
a good visual. It'll be
right?
a good icebreaker or something, right?
For real. Like the waiter
Yeah.
gets there and like, is that for me? Only if
Only.
you properly serve me, right? So there's so many lessons you can learn. There's efficiency, there's thinking on your feet, there's critical thinking, there's strategy, problem
Yeah.
solving, like all of these skills that people take for granted in
Yes.
these jobs they're working, whether it's cashier, warehouse, waiting tables, sales, door-to-door sales, phone sales. I've done it all. There are lessons and transferable skills and lessons
Yes.
that you can learn that are so much better than what you would get in college. And you have to pay for college. You get paid to learn in a job, right?
Right. Well, I mean, I love college too. I love it. I love it all. But I mean,
Well,
so I do love some college as well. But I also feel like you can have life lessons that you can apply on your journey, and it doesn't have to require a college education in that regard. So,
right. And I say that I don't knock college.
of
I
course,
think it's great to learn because you go from high school where everything's handed to you, you have a curriculum, you have everything is kind of done for you.
right.
And then it's like there's no transition. You go to college and it's like now you got to read your own curriculum, now you got to prepare your own lessons
Right.
and know where to be and make sure we're on track with the syllabus, right? And
Yep.
it teaches you how to be responsible, disciplined, and how to network with people that are complete strangers because everything we've been taught our whole life is don't talk to strangers. But Kim, talking to strangers is why we're here right now.
That's right. We were strangers in a room filled with thousands of people. And out of all of the people in there, I'm serious. It was just like, there's something that I have to connect with this individual and figure out what's next. I don't know what next. We haven't even connected since that event,
Right.
but now we're here in this moment.
That's
And
it.
so it was for such a time as this.
That's it.
You never know why God allows paths to connect. I don't want my path to cross with people. I want my
Right.
path to connect with people.
That's
You
so
know?
good, Kim. Yes.
So I love being just in your presence. This has been a blessing already. Everyone else, I hope you're taking notes that you can go back and later glean from as well. I'm huge on providing the Disney experience to people. That's where they will drop the broom no matter what they're doing and take you to the other side of the park and give you a Disney experience. That's what you did, in my opinion, in your
Wow.
book of Waiter to Greater.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is the compliment of compliments. I did a brand archetype quiz, and
Okay.
it said that my brand for Question Everything was magical. And two of the three that were compared was Disney, Apple, and Tesla.
Oh my No, I would never know that clearly.
Wow. Because I actually had another author. She teaches people to be entrepreneurs, authors, speakers, and trainers, and how
Mhm.
to monetize what they've written about. And she looked at my book and she said, "This is not properly formatted. It's not written right.
Mm.
This is not good for, like, it's not properly formatted, basically."
Okay.
And it just made me feel some type of way because I write my book for my people. I don't care what the format says.
Right.
Most people don't read books because they're overwhelming large blocks of text with no pictures,
That's right.
right?
That's right.
If I see a huge, and I'm dyslexic, so if I see a huge block of
Yeah.
text and I have to use a ruler or my finger or something before I'm
Right.
getting lost and reading the same sentence over and over again and nothing,
It's
if I
over.
have to break it up in two sentences, two lines at a time so
Mm.
that you can digest it, that's what I'm going to do. I
Good.
don't care about the rules in the format.
That's
I've
good.
obviously transcended that because
Mhm.
the jobs I was working in
That's
UX design required bachelor's, master's, or PhD and higher or
right.
equivalent experience.
Right.
You know what my equivalent experience was?
What?
Raising 5 children, waiting tables, having to watch my money stack $1 at a time, and learning how to leverage psychology
Mm.
to not only get people to pay me more than their meal was worth at the end of it,
Right.
right? Because people are always struggling with money. So for them to pay me $20, $40, $100 on
Huge
top of
choice.
right, or like 70 to 100% of their bill, they're paying me double what they paid for their food just for an experience I gave them for less than 45 minutes
Mm.
of time.
Mm. Woo.
We think that there is this process of I have to have something
Mm.
in order that I can do something so that I can be someone.
Mm.
And I challenge everyone unconventionally is to just flip that around. What
Yeah.
if you just be that person
Be what you want.
and do the things that that person does?
Yes.
And then the have is a byproduct. It's a gift. It's an extra. It's a bonus.
Mm.
And you
This
don't
is
have to
good.
think about it.
Yeah, you're dropping such knowledge because one of the things you said, and I don't know what page it's on. I should have wrote the page down, but you were talking about just showing up. I don't know what page it was on, but it was. I remember vividly that particular statement. You said no matter what. Oh, show up. Also on page 21. Show
Wow.
up when you say you'll show up, and you're actually in this page on page 21. You're talking about the different 15 years of the places that you worked. You talked about Cheddar's, you talked about the Cheesecake Factory, you talked about BJ's Brew House, and you talked about the fact that the Cheesecake Factory didn't spend a dime on advertising. They
No,
grew organically just by providing world-class service.
that's
And
it.
your biggest lesson was show up when you say you'll show up. Talk
That's
about
it.
that some more.
Man, and you just like that was like a knife right now because I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna be vulnerable because that's my superpower, right? Is
Yeah.
people look at me now that I've written a book and I've had all this success and they just think of me on this pedestal.
Mm-hmm.
Let me humanize myself real quick.
Mm.
There are times that I say I'm gonna show up and I don't show up. And that hurts. That hurts worse than anything because your word is all you have.
That's it.
And trust, it's so easy to break trust and 10 times harder to get it back. I have promised myself time and again I was going to show up for, the Greater University at this time on these, and then I'll get going. And as things start working, I'm like, there's this old part of me that shows up and says, but who are you to do this?
Right.
Right. I start showing up on YouTube consistently. I start doing my podcast consistently. And then at some point it starts working. And there's this subtle self-sabotage. There's this old version of me that says,
Always.
you remember that thing you did? You remember that person you were? You remember that you are not.
Yep.
It's this voice. And so I'm encouraging others because I need to hear this too. When I say I'm going to show up, I should show up because I promised, because
That's right.
it's the right thing to do. And it's not just, for me, it's respecting those people's time. I was afraid that I wasn't even going to wake up on time for this, because there's times where there's a rebel inside of me.
I know what you're saying.
And when I have to get up early, for some reason, I fight my sleep the night before. When there's something to be done, all of a sudden, I have the energy to clean the kitchen, or to clean that room, or to organize this section of my work space. You feel me? So show up when you say you're going to show up, because you're building the reps, right? And it's a physical, a spiritual rather, like the spiritual equivalent of the physical embodiment of working out.
Yes.
Every time I promise myself that I'm going to do something and I don't do it, I wane the trust in myself, and it gets easier to do that. But every time I push through 2 more minutes, one more rep, one more paragraph writing, one more thing, I train my brain, I train my spirit, I train my soul to be able to do hard things. And then nothing, like I said, if anything scares you, face it head on so that nothing stands in your way.
Yes.
I want to give your viewers,
please,
an exercise that's really helped me. And when I remember to do it, it really, really helps me.
Come on.
If anything is scaring you, or you're procrastinating on something, or you find yourself immobile, take a cold shower. Turn it on. Don't even, the moment you hesitate, your brain says danger.
Right.
There's something wrong, because we just ate this food, or we just opened our phone, or we just scrolled social media, and that was easy. But now this thing that you have to do, you hesitated. Why'd you hesitate? Okay, danger, fight or flight. Parasympathetic is activated. Okay, now don't danger. And so 3, 2, 1, jump in. Turn it on as cold as it is.
3, 2,
and
1,
just
jump in.
If you have the shower head, hold it on your chest and breathe. As slow as you can, slow your breathing. It's going to feel like a shock. Your body's going to go, what is going on? Okay, we got to move these blood cells, because obviously there's something wrong, because this man is freezing himself, this woman is freezing herself. Why are we doing this? And you start here, and it's like, and then you go to the back, and then you just keep going back and forth. At some point, what you're going to notice is the water starts feeling warm.
Oh, okay.
It's not warm.
Let me put this one comment up. This person said, BTD said, oh my gosh, not the cold shower. Lord have mercy. Wait in the world. Go ahead. You said 2, 3, 1, jump in, take the cold shower. And especially when you feel stuck. And what's going to happen?
Absolutely. You are going to spike dopamine. And this is clean dopamine. This isn't, I just scrolled on a reel and it made me feel good in that moment because it gave me dopamine. It's not, I'm turning on a video game or eating my favorite food, or, gambling, or whatever you're addicted to, because we're all addicted to something.
Yes.
That's
don't make
dopamine.
me start doing confession over here, especially about my chocolate chip cookie with the Ghirardelli. Okay, go carry on, Gregory.
Listen, I got a whole drawer full of sweets down here. Guilty. You are going to give yourself clean dopamine. And, it's called self-esteem for a reason.
Yes.
Nobody else is responsible for your self-esteem. It is something that you have to do for yourself. And when you give yourself clean dopamine, like my challenge to you is, when you wake up in the morning, don't grab this first.
Right. I leave that sitting right there on the side. I'm like, no.
There was an exercise we did back in recovery where I would put my wallet under the bed.
Okay.
Because I had to get on my knees once to put it there. And when I needed it again, which I always do, right? It's your wallet, it's your money. You got to get on your knees again to get it. So you're at least getting on your knees twice a day to pray, right?
That's
so
good.
it'll remind you to pray. I'm starting to do the same thing with my phone for 2 reasons. One, electromagnetic fields and the fact that it disrupts your sleep. You should charge your phone on the other side of your room or outside of your room, because it really is like my ears ring all the time. I feel drained, and it's because we're not meant to be looking at blue light all the time.
That's right.
That's another story. I'm not a professional in that. I just read a lot. I do a lot of research, and I experience, right.
Mhm.
A lot of my stuff is experiential. So starting to put the phone under the bed because I go for that faster than I go for my wallet,
Right, right,
right? Well, the wallet's on there now. You got tap to pay everywhere,
right, right. Everything's right there at your fingertips, literally. My
literally.
son does that. One of my sons, I never knew why he did that, but so he says that gives him a chance to just
Mm.
be intentional about when he's going to go. Where is he? This is my son Jeremiah. He
Hey.
and he's an entrepreneur.
Mm.
Definitely will be a billionaire probably, and so he has this theory along with several of my other children that he puts the phone away from him, which makes him, and
Mm.
he locks it. He's like, I have to get to it when I'm intentional about getting to it. I'm like,
Yes.
oh, so that
Wow.
taught me something, that God blesses us with children that teach us
Wow.
life lessons. And as a result of that, when I first wake up, I pray, I go to the restroom, do what I need to do and different things, drink
Yes.
cold cup of water, cold,
Hmm.
ice cold, just to make sure I get some hydration in, and then I'll start dealing with my phone.
Man, your son is wise beyond his years. You were right. He's going to be a billionaire
Oh yeah.
because wealthy people have habits. Like you have to think, why do the creators of these apps
Mhm,
not allow their families to use them and they don't use them?
mhm.
Now, there's a morality matrix in UX design that we have to follow, and it's if it's helpful and you would use it, that is a product. I forgot what it's called. It's like a helpful product. Something I forget the actual words. If it's helpful but you wouldn't use it, it's like it's good for the world. It's a utility. If it's not helpful but you'd still use it, it's entertainment, it's gaming, it's right. But if it's not helpful and you wouldn't use it, you're selling drugs.
Interesting. Okay. So is it more like instrumental, utilitarian? Is it that strategic stuff like that? I don't know. I'm trying to think.
It's kind of a gauge to make sure that when we're making these decisions, and you've probably seen these documentaries where people with the same title, UX designers, product designers.
Right. Yeah.
There's one called Buy Now. There's one called the social media experiment or the social, what is it? The social network? No, the social media experiment, I think. I can't remember. But they talked about why they walked away from Google and Facebook and all this because they created this dopamine drip. They realized that dopamine is not the reward
Hmm.
chemical, it's the chase chemical. And when they opened up endless feeds and endless scroll, we might as well have put an IV
Interesting.
into us, and like now we're just taking IV drugs and it's at our palm at all times, and if you don't turn your notifications on, it's blowing up all day every
All
day.
day. My mom, who's in her 70s, she's like, what is that? And so I had to
Hmm.
literally put silence on my phone because every second it was ding, 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 ding. She was like, this is insanity. And I
Yes.
never even paid attention to it. It didn't bother me one way or the other.
Mm.
But her, it was so overwhelming. And I
Yes.
realized then I need to put focus, do not disturb, any kind of things that would be the things that would allow me to have some level of a break in making a
Hmm.
conscious decision to look at it and deal with it. And
Mm.
everything requires some level of attention in some regard. So even if I'm not able to deal with it or choose not to deal with it at that moment, I'll just say, hey, I'll respond to this tomorrow or I'll respond to this next whatever day. But I'm not dealing with it right now. But I still believe in being courteous too.
Amen. Yeah, I live on do not. Any successful entrepreneur has to live on do not disturb. Like there's no way to be without intense and intentional focus.
That's right.
And I love what Kern said here. The creators
Oh,
of these products know the dangers of using their product, which most are slowly killing us. The same thing applies to the food we consume. Listen, don't get us going on this rabbit hole because we will.
yeah, and Karen Cherry, just so you all know, if you've never participated in any of her conferences or
Mm,
summits, she's the butts in the seat queen. That's her
let's go.
termed title, and she knows how to fill a regular conference and a virtual conference. So if you have not connected with Kern Cherry, make sure you do that and let her know that the Kim Jacobs Show sent you her way. Listen, I am so glad so far that you've been here with us. And if you want to stay connected with Gregory Rutledge, his Linktree information is right here. And many of you are audio podcast listeners on iHeartRadio, WDRB Media, and different places. So it's Linktree/Gregory Rutledge, RUTLEDGE. And so as we're continuing our conversation, I want people to understand more about your greater framework and how do people that struggle the most have a difficult time with your framework that you're presenting to the world.
You know, we talked about it briefly a second ago. It's the grounded in your unique story, right? They're trying to put on someone else's story. They're trying to live up to what their mentor or someone that typically it's someone that doubted them, right?
Right.
And they're going on their whole life. Someone doubted them, someone offended them, and they're trying to prove them wrong. And those people are living their lives completely oblivious to the fact that you're still affected and what they said or did is still renting space in your head for free. Then that's the G. The R is reframing limiting beliefs. There are so many limiting beliefs that we hold. And if we would just reframe them, tell ourselves better mental stories.
That's right.
Tell yourself stories where you win in the end. Listen, everything I tell myself, I made it up. So if I'm going to make up anything, why not just make up a story where I'm going to win?
Well, do me a brief favor. Just make up one little story. Here, look. Make up a story where you win.
Just that brief favor. I love the I love it.
Just at the end, we win. It doesn't, it's not even really about a specific story. It's just knowing that at the end, I win.
Bars, Kim. Bars. I love it. At the end, we win. So just put it in a different frame. Yeah. And then embracing continuous learning. What do I mean by that? Embracing everything that happens to you is not happening to you.
That's right.
You are a speck in the universe, in this long continuum of time. You should be grateful to even be here, but it's not happening to you. It's happening for you because all work works. It is either working on you,
yes,
or it's working for you. And it's working on you so that you can become the kind of person for whom it can work. So anything that you go through, good or bad, is a lesson. Embrace it, learn from it, and then take action on it. That's the A, action-oriented goals. We have these big goals and to-do lists, and they're great to put on paper. They're great to share with someone. Sometimes just sharing that you have that goal is the dopamine rush you needed, and then you don't take action. But if we talked about this earlier, I'm in the business of action, and God's in the business of results. Results, the how, like Les Brown said, that's none of my business. What am I going to do consistently, day to day, to ensure that that goal is just a byproduct of me building this habit? Because all addiction is just maladaptive habit formation, right? I'm just building a habit around something that's not good for me. So I can take that same energy and build a habit around something that is great for me. And if you want to be great, you can stop at this T, transitioning with purpose. Why am I moving from this thing to this thing? Not, it got hard, or I don't understand it, or no one's helping me, or, I ran into this, so I move, right? That's that learning curve. We start something, and then the novelty wears off, the dopamine's gone, and now we don't want to do it because it's boring.
That's right.
And so we move. But what if we moved with purpose? Like, I know why I'm doing this. Simon Sinek says start with why. When you know why, the what and the how, the where, the when, all of that works out because your why is strong enough, right? Your purpose is turned up. So if you want to be great, you can stop there. Grounded, reframed, embracing, action, and transition. But if you want to be greater, you got to do things like Kim Jacobs is doing by bringing balance to the world one household at a time and hosting a show. I mean, think about the days when you had to get some sort of record deal or promotion deal or some kind of deal for
Right.
someone to put you on a network so that people can see you. Now, if you got one of these and the internet,
Mm-hmm.
you can have your own show and
That's
do
right.
whatever you want and say whatever you want, and people will see it. And if you stay continuous, I won't say consistent, continuous with it, if you just continue on, because consistency is a bad word to people with ADHD, ADHD, autism,
Right.
dyslexia. Like, if I fall off and I lose that streak, I'm bad, right? There's shame and guilt, and then
Right.
it keeps us. But if I stay continuous, if I just keep coming back to it, no matter how I feel, no matter what happens, I just keep putting in that work, it's going to grow. So empowering your network is, I said all that and I didn't even tell you what the E is. Empower your network. When you get to the top, look back. Yes, look at what your next peak is, but look back and see, okay, so I made it here. Is there anyone else back here that needs my help to get here?
Yes.
So we can go here together?
That's right.
And then the R, the most important one, is resilience in the face of setbacks. That's the last R. A setback is not maybe there'll be a setback.
Right. There will be.
There will be a setback. It's part of it. And so you have to remain resilient. Like, show up one more time. Show up for 5 more minutes. Show up even though it hurts. Show up even though it didn't work. And learn from it. And like, because disruption always follows intention. Every time I get intentional about doing something, disruption is the first thing that's going to show up.
Automatically. That's right.
Automatically. And it's almost as if God wants to say, are you really about this life?
Right.
Right? Because you're about to go through a journey stepping into this territory, especially in my name. Right?
That's right.
It has been so hard to get everything in order by myself. And in this experiment, I don't even think I was running this experiment consciously. It was a subconscious thing, like a self-sabotage thing, where I was starting to get grounded in other people's stories. I was
Right.
rehearsing limiting beliefs. I was balking at continuous learning, like, oh, this is happening to me. This is so bad. I wasn't taking any action. I was transitioning without purpose.
Right.
I was avoiding my network. And resilience? No, I give up. This is stupid. They asked me for a password 6 times in 6 different ways to check my email for the.
And then you just call it quits.
and call it quits. But I've
That
worked
happens
this
a lot.
framework back and forth because I'm someone that learns from contrast.
Right.
I know the framework works, but what if I did it backwards? What if I did everything it said not to? What would that
Interesting.
result in? Right?
That's good.
And I found that not only does it work, but if you don't work it, it doesn't work.
Yeah. This is a book of action steps. So if you do not have a copy of this book, From Waiter to Greater, you want to get your copy immediately. How can people get a copy of your book, Gregory?
It is on Amazon. You can search Gregory Rutledge or From Waiter to Greater. I also have a workbook. If you don't want to read the book and you just want to get to the action, there's a whole workbook with a bonus chapter on overcoming imposter syndrome. And that is available as well on Amazon. You go to my link tree and it's the top link. I'm working on the audiobook right now. I was going to have someone else read it. And
No,
it's like,
you have to
no.
read it.
People were like, we need your voice.
What
So,
in the world? We have
I
to
know,
have your
right?
voice. You cannot. The stories will not hit the same without hearing your emphasis behind it.
yeah.
So you have to use your voice. Okay. What can you tell people as just advice to really understand that they're hearing from God? Sometimes people are blocked and they're stuck and they're not sure how to move forward because they're not sure if they're hearing from God in certain seasons in their lives. Tell us.
Listen, if it's God's will for your life, you won't be able to stop it. And if it's not God's will for your life, you won't be able to make it happen. And even if you do, you're going to have to work extra hard to keep it up.
That's good. That's good. Y'all, these are some words of wisdom that I know that you can apply to your life. Now, you also work with high performing leaders and entrepreneurs. What's the biggest internal battle that you see most leaders and entrepreneurs facing from your perspective? Because you coach a lot of people.
Man, just the permission to show up
Hmm.
and know that they're already greater. My first
Okay.
client, when I finally launched and left my job, my first client, it was a coach for Kingdom Coaches. And I looked at her website and it was just so beautiful. It looked luxury, it looked
Mhm.
top tier, and I scrolled to the bottom and I see $297 and it's crossed out and it's $97. And I was like, this is the equivalent of having a Rolls Royce parked outside and telling someone, I got a Rolls Royce, brand new, nothing wrong with it, $300. What's your first question? Like, what's the resistance for me is what's wrong with it? Am I going to get shot once I get in there? Did someone die in it? Is it
Right,
stolen?
right.
Right? So I told her, your site looks premium. Your results speak for themselves. You've
Mhm.
coached hundreds of coaches. You've helped launch hundreds of Kingdom Coaches.
Mm.
But your site says pay less. And I was so afraid to say that,
Wow.
but I had to say it.
Mm.
People pay me not to make them feel good, or you pay me too much to lie to you. And so I said it, and she's like, ouch. And I said, when you raise your prices, you're not raising your prices to be greedy. You're raising your prices because people show up differently when they pay more money.
Yeah, they show. First of all, they show up. Period, because they paid.
You
That's
pay, you
important.
pay attention. That's it. And this was the turning point for her.
Mm.
I said, you can always go up. I told her 20,000.
Mm.
She argued down to 12,000, and then she did 8,000, right? She went up on her prices because I said this. You can always go up, and if it doesn't work, you can go back to what you were doing. She went up. I promised her $24,000 a month return. I messed up, Kim. I didn't get her to 24,000.
You got her to more, didn't you?
I got her to 50,000 a month.
Woo!
And it was like, they just need the permission
Mhm.
to know that they can do it.
Mhm.
And so I'm giving you the permission slip right now.
Mm.
You can do literally, and this sounds so cliche, you can do literally anything you set your mind to. Your mind is the most powerful tool we have in this world, more powerful than AI, more powerful than these algorithms, more powerful than anything. We are made in the image of a creator.
Yes.
So go create and go be great.
Yeah, I'm promising you some kind of way. The StreamYard platform has to have a drop the mic sound effect. It has to add that, because that's about the size of it. And your philosophy, this is probably one of the last questions will ask, maybe one more, but just real briefly. What is your greater philosophy now versus when you first started? Because I think a lot of the people that's watching may be more where you were when you first started. So what's the difference between your greater philosophy then and your greater philosophy now?
I'm much less confident now than I was in the beginning. Believe it or not. Listen,
Interesting.
I'm just being real, because you get to this place where you think, when I write the book, I'll be there. When I do the thing, when I make the podcast, when I make the $250,000, the six-figure income, I'll feel okay.
Mhm.
And then you get there and you realize it's not all you thought it would be. And it's a fleeting moment. It's just, okay, the book's published. That's where the work begins. That's where you have to go and speak on stages and go on podcasts and talk about your book all the time. How do you talk about yourself all the time, right? How does you get on a show and someone's introducing you, and yeah, it strokes your ego a little bit, but listen, the GWiz stands for God's will ignites zeal and Greg's will ignores zeal. It is my constant reminder of whether I'm in God's will or my will. And it is so uncomfortable to be celebrated and put on a pedestal when you're human, you have flaws. And, you know, the higher you get put up on a pedestal, the harder you fall when people realize that you're just human. So I'm gonna stay down here and say what's real, because there's this cognitive bias called the curse of knowledge.
The curse of knowledge. Interesting.
When I know something, I forget what it took to learn that. I forget the struggle. I forget that I didn't know it at one point. And then at some point, it just becomes common knowledge for me.
Right.
But what's common knowledge for me, and I'm dropping these gems on this podcast, right, is new to someone else.
Very new. So yeah. So it's a breath of fresh air to all of us that's tuning in to hear you. Well, I'm hosting you, but I'm hearing you also. But the point is, for people tuning in or listening, this is a breath of fresh air, a way of thinking that maybe a little bit more jarring than what someone has been doing as their norm. So now you're telling us when you do win, you are greater, you have greater inside of you. Let's just stop worrying about painting a picture that has us losing, but paint the picture of us having a victorious outcome.
That's it.
I love this. Okay. All right. So I saw a podcast. Are you hosting? Tell me about this.
So that was actually, I'm surprised. She's got really good SEO, because I did a interview with Sophia, and it was on her Writing Black Joy podcast.
Okay.
And I was a guest there. But when you type in
That's
From Waiter
good.
to Greater, that's what pops up. And I'm like, maybe I should have named my podcast From Waiter to Greater. It's the greater journey.
Oh, that's
And-
interesting, because I did my own due diligence before
Right.
I brought you on the show, right? And I kept seeing that, right? And so here's the thing. If you don't have a podcast, is that what I'm hearing?
I have a podcast called The Greater Journey.
Yeah, okay. I thought you had a show. Okay.
Right. And so it started working again. This is my dilemma. And I don't know if anyone else struggles with this, but I'm just going to be vulnerable, because I know that's when the true change happens, when someone else knows that someone else is struggling with this too. I get started on something, it starts working, it starts going good, and then I either get bored or sabotage it. I don't know what that is. And so I've actually hired a team to help me with this podcast, because I was like 5 or 6 episodes behind. And I love live. Like, there is no fear in my bones. There's
No,
no
I can tell.
anxiety. I actually thrive when I'm live and there's people to
Me too.
engage
I
with,
love this.
right? And trying to record it behind the scenes, and like, there's never any mess ups. Like, people need to see this as they see it. And the one time I went live on the Greater Journey podcast was like the best thing that ever happened. And so I am setting a date to start going live every day that week. So
See?
we can do the Greater Journey live, because people need to see these journeys. They see the highlight reel, they see the success, and they don't see where these people started or the messy middle. And that's what I want to bring to people, is show people that everyone that's successful had a messy middle.
Oh.
They just had to go through it.
We cannot wait to be in the virtual studio audience of the Greater Journey podcast. And I know you said the greatest thing, but I'm sure that I found one picture that I might be being a sleuth. I hope this is accurate. But tell me with this.
Oh my goodness. Wow, you know how to bring some tears to people's eyes. So, you know, I was married for 12 years, and I learned everything not to do, to my 2 biological children's mothers. And then there was a relationship in between that and Tiffany, who you saw in the picture. And it was pretty toxic. You know, you jump from relationship to relationship, trying to find yourself and trying to be complete or whole, or get that thing you didn't get as a child.
Right.
That motherly nurturing. And it's nothing against my mom. I love my mom. We have a great relationship now. She's just not an emotionally, she's not a touchy-feely person.
Right.
It's not. There's so many walls and barriers that were built. So we ended up having a child, me and the second woman, and placing him for open adoption. That was the hardest thing I've ever had to go through, as a man who didn't want to perpetuate that cycle of, you know, fatherless, to give him up. There was ambiguity happening, and I could make a story for why to keep him and a story for why to give him to this family. and neither one was wrong. Right? And when you have to make a decision and neither one is wrong, you have to make a decision that you're at peace with. Make a decision and be at peace with it and stick with it, commit to it. And so when I finally committed, she started wavering. And the paperwork for an open adoption is brutal. It basically says, I want nothing to do with this child at all. Like, it's legal terms. So there's no way, no loophole for me to come back around and argue I want my son back, right? So that was really hard. And there was a major moment of transformation that let me know that my decisions in my life were harming my children, and they were harming the purpose that God has me here for, which is to be the father to the fatherless, which is to be that leader that most men never had, right? I've broken a lot of generational curses in my family. And so that picture was triumph, was when I finally said in my heart, I'm done. I'm done chasing. I'm done hurting women. I'm done doing the things I've been doing that I was told to do by the men I looked up to, trying to get another notch on my belt, right? This was, we didn't like each other. We weren't each other's type, and we were both done. And I heard someone say, if you want love,
Oh my God.
run as fast as you can towards God. And if someone can keep up, and introduce yourself. And we were introduced by a mutual friend that saw something that we had. And when she said, you need to hook up with my friend Tiffany, I was like, no, I'm done. I don't want anyone. I'm done. She's like, whoa, chill, dude. I meant, like, y'all have kids around the same age. Maybe you can help each other out. You live 3 streets down from each other. Just check in on her as a friend. I was like, I could do that. She's like, her name's Tiffany Outlaw. I was like, her name is Tiffany Outlaw? The rebel in me was like, I want to take her last name. But I didn't think of it like that. It was like 6 months into this relationship. I had been honest with her. I wasn't trying to do anything. We were just friends. I would watch her dog. I would buy groceries. I would help her with the kids. They'd come over. We'd play games. The first time we ever saw each other, we built this clock. And it was a whole craft. And it was me, her, and our daughters. And it was a great experience.
Wow.
And we didn't even see each other like that at all. And people were asking, like, what's up with y'all? Like, and finally, when our daughters were like, so why aren't y'all a thing? Because y'all should be a thing. And we just kind of looked at each other like that, innocent school kid, like, ew, gross, cooties. And then it hit me. I was like, I haven't had to fight. There's been no drama. We get along. We laugh.
Right.
We have fun. What am I doing? Hey, lock this down.
That's right. Lock it down. You did, right?
I sure did. And I don't know if you saw this. You were doing your due diligence and research. I actually proposed to her with a flash mob. I was like, I want to make this so epic. I mean, it would have been really embarrassing if she said no.
Right.
We did a whole flash mob. It took me 3 months to prepare. I'll drop the link for it in the chat, but it was the Griffany flash mob proposal, and it was epic. And
That's so good.
it was just a sign, an outward sign of an inward commitment. Like, this is it. I'm hanging up the player hat. I'm hanging up who I was, and I'm committed to this woman.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even think I got to say in the video, like, they lower the volume so you can hear me. I don't even think I said, will you marry me? I was just so nervous and halfway disappointed that I didn't get to dance in the flash mob because I had to be prepared to propose.
Well, I'm so glad we are ending more on that note, because I had no idea that that was even the story associated with your journey. You are truly the epitome of from waiter to greater, and I can't even imagine what is yet to come. This is just You're just in the middle of your journey, and God has so much more in store for you. So I'm so proud that you participated in today's episode. Listen, I do have one of our episode sponsors that I want to
Hey,
make
let's
sure that I
go.
take a moment to acknowledge, and that is our very own Letitia Lamar. She has an upcoming program that's happening this Thursday. And if you have not already registered, you can reach out to her by calling 352 462 2804. And it's Legacy Now. It's a free masterclass, February 19th. And if you're watching this as a replay, then she does this different times. But this one is on February 19th at 7 o'clock p.m. And all you have to do is call 352 462 2804. She'll send you some pre-work. You will be prepared for learning how to leave aligned and equipped on how to build your legacy now. She's the author of the book Be Great. And that book is a book that is a game changer as well. So definitely don't miss the opportunity to register for her masterclass. Thank you so much, Letitia M. Lamar, for being our episode sponsor today. And please, let's keep Reverend Jesse Jackson's family in our prayers, because obviously we've lost a giant in the civil rights movement. He has been a forerunner in so many different regards, and a game changer, a life changer in some of the things that's happened to make our country better as a result of him being able to sacrifice a lot of his own life for the better cause of all of ours. So we celebrate you and we salute you, Reverend Jesse Jackson. All right. Any closing comment for you?
This was so good. So good. I'm so inspired. I'm so grateful for the opportunity to speak to your audience, for them to show up, but just the way you run your show. It's so inspirational to me. It gives me a model of what I could be doing differently and better, greater. I want to tell your audience on these closing words: be bold and courageous. Do everything that you do with passion, and I promise you will have a life that you love. Now go be greater.
Go be greater, everyone. Listen, if you're interested in starting your own virtual show from scratch, please make sure that you reach out to me right away and let us know that it's from you seeing it here on the Kim Jacobs Show, and you'll get a 10% discount as well. And you can reach out at 704-962-7161 or 704-944-3534. Thank you so much, Gregory, for blessing us with your presence, your talents, your gifts, your heart. You made our lives better. All right, everyone. Thank you for tuning into this episode of the Kim Jacobs Show, where we did bring balance to this world today. And I know we did with our special guest. Tomorrow, we'll be right back on, and we're talking with a woman who went from servant to kingdom daughter. And she's going to be sharing her journey as a gospel recording artist. So I look forward to her being in the studio audience tomorrow as our special guest. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode. And we will see you again Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on the Kim Jacobs Show. You have blessed my heart, Gregory.
No,
Gregory,
thank you.
high five to you over there.
Let's go.
And anybody who wants to show love to the Kim Jacobs Show, it's been scrolling on the screen the entire time. Any amount is a blessing. It helps us keep our subscriptions going. We are only able to keep this program alive by having contributors from our community, followers as well. So make sure you support us in whatever way God blesses you to do so. Have a great day, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on the Kim Jacobs Show. Have a great day. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of the Kim Jacobs Show, and for being in the virtual studio audience. Your presence truly does make a difference, and I look forward to you bringing your friends and family to join you in the virtual studio audience Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I look forward to seeing you, and make it a great day.